Short slate, lots of injuries. For example, Jokic is still out. Devin Booker's not playing. Kawhi is questionable. Portland's on a back-to-back, but we're going to take advantage of that. These are some of the prop edges I like today, and then there's going to be some that I'm going to discuss anyway. Portland's second leg of a back-to-back. And how does Jrue Holiday do? Well, we just made some nice money on the Jrue Holiday spot yesterday. Over 1.5 threes, minus 130. We cashed it in the first half. Guess what? Jrue Holiday now is at minus 160 to go 2 plus threes tonight against the terrible Washington defense that is bottom 10 in threes allowed. So we're going to deviate. First of all, I would never bet that back-to-back threes. I'd be happy to hit it the first game, and if it didn't hit yesterday, I probably would have gone after it today. But since it did hit yesterday, I was like, nah, no Jrue Holiday threes. Plus, you couldn't anyways, too juiced. So then I started diving into where else does Washington struggle? Well, they've actually allowed the third most Washington's allowed the third most assists per game. 67% of point guards in the last 10 games have gone over their assist prop when facing Washington. Since Jrue Holiday just did pretty well offensively yesterday, he's probably going into that distributor facilitator role today. Against bottom 10 defenses this year, not only is Jrue Holiday averaging just under 18 points a game, he's averaging just under 9 assists. I know the minutes have been down a bit because he's coming off injury. I was looking at there's 5 games this year that Jrue Holiday played a team bottom 10 in points allowed. He's gone over 5.5 assists in 4 of those 5 games. Again, averaging just under 9 assists per game. Jrue Holiday should have at least 6 assists today, and the book hasn't caught on yet, which is why it's at plus 120. Sorry, Broncos fire offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi after 3 seasons, FYI, in case you wanted that breaking news. That game starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time between Portland and Washington. Portland laying 7.5, which tells me Portland should be putting up points against this bad defense with a 232.5 total. And who's going to do that? Everyone else except Jrue Holiday, who's going to dish the ball out at least 6 times. Kings and Knicks. This one was interesting. This is what took me a long time to handicap because, of course, you're getting a Kings team that's a terrible defense. So I had to figure out, okay, the Knicks probably are winning this game. They're 13.5-point favorites. They just lost to the Kings on January 14th in Sacramento, 112-101. Total 230.5. Knicks have been playing badly. It's a great spot for them at the Garden to try to, quote-unquote, get right. And, of course, the spread is indicating that. I will be honest. The numbers really love Cat tonight. Obviously, the numbers are low because Cat has been playing terribly and his minutes have gone down. If you want to take the risk, literally every one of my numbers indicates that Cat should go over everything. He's averaging against bottom 10 defenses this year at home, 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. His prop is 19.5. His rebound prop's 10.5, and his assist prop's 2.5. He's averaging over all of that. So, of course, unless it's a blowout, of course, if his minutes are restricted, then he's not going over. But I'm just saying, if you would like to bet that. Plus, with Brunson and Hart against bottom 10 defenses this year, Cat's averaging 21 points a game, 12.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Pretty much going over all his props. If you want to take the risk, you can take Cat over. I don't want to take the risk. I'm probably not betting this game, to be honest with you, but this is where I found edges in the market. I also found an edge with Jalen Brunson, which I'm sure more people are willing to put their money on. The 37.5 PRA. In a game where the Knicks want to win because they just lost to the Kings a couple of weeks ago and they're home at the Garden where Jalen Brunson loves to play, he's averaging against bottom 10 defenses 40 PRA. At home at the Garden against bad defenses, he's averaging just under 40 PRA. And with Cat and Hart against bad defenses, he's averaging 38 PRA. So this number at 37.5 really stood out because he goes over for the most part. And obviously, if the Knicks do cover, and obviously if they put up a lot of points, it's going to have to be Jalen Brunson, right? Don't bet Josh Hart. I'm sorry if it does hit, but all his numbers were too high. Or spot on. Like, I have his numbers at between 11 and 12 points. He's at 11.5. I have him between 7 to 9 rebounds. He's at 7.5. I have him at about 5 assists. He's at 5.5. So, like, everything was kind of spot on with him, and his numbers kind of fluctuated. Hart overall against bad defenses, at home against bad defenses with Cat and Brunson. If Cat was like out, then maybe, but I didn't like the Josh Hart numbers today, so I was staying away. Another prop, I missed this one. Another prop in that Kings and Knicks game that did stand out was Russell Westbrook under 15.5 points. Russell Westbrook under 15.5 points. He's actually gone under in 6 of 8 games on the road with Domantas Sabonis, and the Knicks allow the 10th least points per game. 71% of point guards have actually gone under their points prop against the New York Knicks. Wait, 1 second. I'll take this off for a sec. The Bucks and Sixers game. Sixers laying 10.5, total 219.5. Giannis still out. Philly's on the second leg of a back-to-back. They got embarrassed in Charlotte, 130-93 yesterday afternoon, but Paul George and Joel Embiid did not play. They're questionable today. I really wanted to like the Tyrese Maxey or Paul George over threes or over points. Again, numbers were spot on. In fact, Tyrese Maxey against bad perimeter defenses at home averages less points per game. Paul George at home, he does a little better. I have him at 15 points and props 14.5, so it's really spot on. So I don't trust it. So I'm staying away from this game. But the Bucks do allow the 9th most threes per game. Philly also allows the 8th most rebounds per game and 4th most assists. But again, with Paul George and Joel Embiid playing tonight, I don't know if I could trust that either. I also don't trust the Pelicans and the Thunder game because the Thunder are laying 2 touchdowns against New Orleans. Total 233.5. Pelicans, it said everyone was playing tonight, but whoever knows with Zion. Pelicans are bottom 10 in pretty much every statistical category, but can we really trust that OKC's players are playing the whole game? So I have to stay away from a double-digit spread. I wanted to play this Detroit and Denver game. I know I'm giving you a lot of no's to games I'm playing, but sometimes, like Steve Merrill said before, sometimes the best edge is not betting it. I don't have an edge in Detroit and Denver because we've only had a 2-game sample size of games without Nikola Jokic and with Jonas Valanciunas. So how the hell are we really going to have numbers to tell us what the hell is going to happen? Also, Denver's without Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon, in addition to being out without Nikola Jokic. And again, 2-game sample size against a great Detroit team who's one of the best defenses in the NBA. 3rd least points per game allowed, 4th least rebounds per game allowed, least assists per game allowed. So I wanted to find edges for unders on Denver, but I couldn't find them because there's only a 2-game sample size. So I'm out. Brooklyn, Phoenix, I didn't like anything there. Devin Booker's out tonight for Phoenix, so blah. But this game, 10 p.m. Eastern time. I love this game tonight. Ivica Zubac, James Harden. It's their time to shine. Kawhi's questionable, by the way, but I like these plays anyway. I already bet them. Keontae George is out, by the way, and so is Yusuf Nurkic for Utah. Ivica Zubac over his points and rebounds. 25.5. I even grabbed to 26.5 on Prize Picks, unfortunately, but that's all they had. And I don't mind it. It was actually fine. I have him at 28. Ivica Zubac is averaging 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists when up against teams that are a bottom 10 defense. He is still averaging over 25.5 points and rebounds on the road against teams that are bad defensively. He's averaging 27 to 28 points and rebounds against teams that are bottom 10 in rebounds allowed. That's what he's getting tonight in this Utah team. The worst defense in the NBA and one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. Ivica Zubac should have a great time against this Utah team, who, again, is without their center, Yusuf Nurkic. They have no size. Zubac's over. And again, the spread's only 8.5, so I kind of think that, it still could be a blowout, but I think they play. James Harden. First off, I do hope Kawhi's a late scratch because that would be really beneficial to us. I don't know if you guys saw, I tweeted it out earlier. And again, I still like it anyway with or without Harden. Let me see. I had the chart. Do I not have it up anymore? Okay, well, I tweeted it over at Prop Queen Sports on X. I will pull the chart real quick for you guys. This is just if Kawhi's out tonight. Those are James Harden's numbers on the road without Kawhi this year. All green over points. All green. Not only that, Kawhi just did have a huge game against Utah the last time out. Harden put up, I think, 20. Harden's getting a bottom 10 defense, a bottom 10 perimeter defense. In matchups against a bottom 10 defense, Harden's averaging 26 points a game on the road as well. Against bottom 10 perimeter defenses, Harden's averaging 22 points a game, or 20 and 25 on the road. So you're getting all of that mixed in. You could go points and rebounds too, because Harden's rebound prop is off. It's 4.5 with heavy juice to the over. Points and rebounds then is off as well. He should be at 5.5 rebounds, but he's at 4.5. So that's another edge. I just went with points because, again, I like to bet what didn't happen in game 1 to happen in game 2, with Harden putting up, I think, only 20 in game 1 or the last game, but they put the prop at 24.5, and Kawhi had the big game last game. Then they flip-flop, and I think Harden goes off from outside.